live. You cannot.
Guys, this is exactly what I've been trying to raise up on this channel regarding the governance of the ANC and the relationship between the ANC and the people. You see, during the French Revolution of 1789, there was a political philosopher named Jean-Jacques Rousseau who actually said that when the people shall have nothing to eat, they will actually eat the rich. In other words, when the people actually get to the point where they really do not have basic bread, because in France, the one major issue was bread. The people couldn't find bread to eat, and that anger turned back to the rich, the people, the bourgeoisie, so to speak, or those who actually were well-to-do in society. The ANC, in my eyes and in my analysis of what's going on, is getting to that place where the people are getting really fed up and tired of empty promises. So this was actually an event that actually occurred last week as the ANC was prepping for its 113th celebration for the anniversary of its movement as a revolutionary movement in Africa. And actually, Vice President Paul Mashatile decided to go himself, going in, to do this door-to-door campaigns and actually approach this particular house where this woman runs a kind of like a food kitchen, out of her own personal will, without any assistance whatsoever, to help the people of Kyalitsha and Nyanga. And these two cities are actually cities I encountered for the first time during, Sports Minister Gaten Mackenzie's speech at the last business conference last year. He actually was angry. Let's quickly listen to what he said about Kyalitsha.
You say the DA is doing a good job in the Western Cape. Yes, they're doing an excellent job for white people and rich black people like me. They're doing an excellent job. But go and see what's happening in Manhandling. Go and see what's happening in Guguletu. Kyalitsha stinks. The sewage is running in the street every day. The rats are eating children's toes in Langa. Graveyard of Kyalitsha has not had a fence for more than 7 years. Our people lives in what you call Wendy houses in the Western Cape, in the Cape Flats. Wendy houses. It is 4 people living in one municipal house, and 4 people live at the back. Of course, some will kill each other. Of course, there will be child molestation, because you live with a totally different. It's something that you have never seen. Take your helicopter like what I did and you drive or you fly over the Cape Flats. Now you say the DA is doing a good job. Let me tell you something. The DA and the ANC is doing both a bad job. The DA is only looking after you guys here in the Western Cape. But my people get nothing.
Yes, so this was my introduction to Kyalitsha and Langa and these townships in Cape Town, where he actually argues because in my mind I actually try to imagine Cape Town where rats eat the toes of children, and so this was the same Kyalitsha. And so when I came across this Kyalitsha again, with the coincidence with Paul Mashatile, Vice President, and this family, I was actually shocked, and it actually tells me the frustration the people are actually getting nearer and nearer to with the ANC's continued promises, all right, which many people actually argue are empty promises. You see, so Paul Mashatile was almost like, in fact, in a way, I saw one video that said that he was kicked out. He was kicked out in Kyalitsha. He was kicked out also in Nyanga. The people are slowly rejecting the ANC. The whole thing with SASA, the 350 rand being paid to many people and all that, doesn't seem to be enough. The other promises and all that are not really coming, and the people are getting really frustrated. Let's quickly listen to this reporter break down the incident and how everything happened step by step as Paul Mashatile, the Vice President of South Africa, decided to visit Kyalitsha to really try to, spread the good news of the ANC's presence in South Africa as a revolutionary party destined to really help the poor, and the people of South Africa. And the feedback, kind of like the really negative feedback he received as a direct message from the people of South Africa, especially the people of the townships in Cape Town.
Well, let's try and get a clear understanding of what actually prompted this, the fracas, if you want to call it that. Junior Khumalo was actually seated inside the home when all of this happened. Let's talk to him now to try and get a better understanding. Junior, good afternoon to you. Before we get into those details, perhaps let's take the viewers back to that particular manhandling situation, and then we'll discuss a little deeper as to what actually prompted this disagreement. Let's have a listen.
All of them must leave. They cannot push me in my mother's house. They must leave. All of you guys, leave now. Leave. This is my house. Put me out. In my house. In my house. No, man, you guys must leave. I don't want to hear anything. You must leave. You must leave. You cannot tell me that I can enter my own home. Oh, man. Man, they must leave. Now. All of you must leave. Now. Not tomorrow, now.
Junior, there is a child here that is carried by the gentleman who is being manhandled out of that room. What actually started this whole commotion? Is door-to-door campaigning starting to become a difficult matter for the ANC?
Indeed, Xoli, from what happened, what transpired today, it might seem to be the case that door-to-door campaigning is becoming very hard for the ANC as it goes into this celebration of its birthday that is going to be happening tomorrow. But what transpired there is that usually these door-to-door campaigns, there's some choreographing that happens behind the scenes. This is where some of the leaders of the party in these various regions go to these households and do indicate to them that they will be bringing either the president, the deputy president, or any top official of the ANC to that particular house. We understand that this happened. We did see this happen ourselves as we got there about an hour before the deputy president went to that particular house. He went to this particular house because the lady in that house and the gentleman actually run a soup kitchen where they do assist a lot of individuals who don't have food. So they are doing a good job. This is part of the reason why the deputy president was brought to this house to try and get assistance for that soup kitchen. So as they went into this house, it seems like the mom and the dad in the house were told that the deputy president was going to go. They welcomed him into the house. Once he was in the house, and a lot of media contingent was also in the house, the son, who we understand does not live with the family, then drove to the house to come and visit his family. He parked his car outside, and as he was trying to make his way into the home, this is where the manhandling, the alleged manhandling took place. We understand that the security detail of the deputy president tried to prevent him from going into the house. He was carrying his son at the time, and he basically lost his temper, and he walked into the house demanding that everyone in the house should actually leave. We did see the security detail rushing in and trying to stop him, because when he walked into the house, he was walking straight to where the deputy president, Paul Mashatile, was seated. So that's when the security detail actually jumped in front of the deputy president and prevented him from going towards the deputy president. He was later spoken to by the dad, who tried to calm him down. That's when we saw the deputy president then offer that apology, saying that they were not aware that he was actually a family member in that household. That was actually not the only incident where the ANC found it tough, actually, as they were doing those door-to-door campaigns today. We also moved with the deputy president from Kyalitsha to Nyanga, where the deputy president was also talking to some elderly community members. There was a lady, an older lady there, who did also confront the deputy president, saying that when it is campaign season, we do get transportation from the ANC, transporting us to various stadia where the ANC is hosting its events. governance. We are also ferried to various stations where we do cast our votes for the ANC. But despite this, after all is said and done, then we do not get any assistance from the ANC or other parties when it comes to the challenges that the community members actually do face. That is when the Deputy President of the country actually said that most of the challenges that these communities, whether it's Kyalitsha or Nyanga or Guguletu, that they are facing is not because of the ANC government. It's actually because of the provincial government that is actually run by the Democratic Alliance. It's going to be tough for the ANC to explain this because, as you know, Xoli, they are in governance with the party, the Democratic Alliance. When it comes to a national level, the government of national unity, the ANC has chosen to go into governance with the same party that the ANC is now accusing of neglecting some of these communities.
But yeah, brilliant, guys. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, like the video speaks for itself. The people actually have spoken, and I really like the way Zoli ended this interview, as he said that it might just be a sign, a message to the ANC, and if they can really take heed to what the people are saying and what the people are thinking. Because this whole incident reminds me of, when I did my doctoral research. My PhD thesis was on the revolution in Ghana in 1981 called the December 31st Revolution. It was spearheaded by this former president called Jerry Rawlings in 1981, from 81 to 92. And then from 92, he becomes a democratic leader and leads Ghana into a democratic era. But one major problem that actually made the revolution erupt was because of the fact that democracy in itself was being criticized, that ministers were in parliament, writing, proposals and policies on paper and sending it, but they really didn't understand what was happening on ground. They really weren't in tune with the truth and the reality on the ground. And so I think this is actually what has happened to now the ANC, as Paul Mashatile has actually decided to come to the ground of the township itself in Kyalitsha, in Nyanga. And I'm sure it would likely be the same if he had actually had to go to a Soweto or probably a Guguletu or an Mpumalanga. This would have actually been the same message from the people. The people are getting tired. The people are getting fed up of poor governance, empty promises and all that. And slowly it's getting to the point where a political philosopher from France, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, argued that when the people have nothing else to eat, they will eat the rich. It's really a message. I really hope that the ANC members, of the ANC are really listening. I saw a scandal with Mbalula. He was actually in a scandal where he was argued to have come in a really expensive yacht, and all that. The people are really seeing these things. They're seeing mismanagement of funds, and their lives are not getting better. But yet a small, a group of elite seem to be living large. This is kind of like what gave birth to the Ghanaian revolution at the time in 1979. These angry junior officers, in Ghana executed former military presidents and some other military officers and some people who actually were, claimed to have really took part in the whole corruption, so to speak, in Ghana, and the revolution went on, but there was a lot of blood and all that. So I'm really hoping and praying that the ANC are really, listening to what the sounds of truth and really smelling the coffee, because this message from Kyalitsha and this message from Nyanga, as this reporter has actually reported here, is actually a clear, direct message to the ANC. And if the ANC is wise, it will be worth listening to. I don't know, what do you guys think about this video here? I'll see you in the next one, but share your thoughts in the comments.